We also have to compare Australia's response when Russia annexed the Crimea in 2014. The Abbott government put in a few financial and travel sanctions against 11 unnamed Russian political figures, and to be fair, that's probably all they could have done anyway. But essentially, there was no promise of money, there was no promise of the lethal aid that Scott Morrison is promising now. But at least it has given the Prime Minister an opportunity to talk tough.
Today, to further increase the support we're providing to Ukraine and to our NATO, to the NATO and all the members of NATO, we will be answering the call from President Zelensky. President Zelensky said, "Don't give me a ride, give me ammunition." And that's exactly what the Australian government has agreed to do. We will be committing $50 million to support both lethal and non-lethal defensive support for Ukraine. The overwhelming majority of that, that's some 70 million Australian dollars, will be in the lethal category. We're talking missiles, we're talking ammunition, we're talking supporting them in their defence of their own homeland in Ukraine, and we'll be doing that in partnership with NATO. I'm not going to go into the specifics of that because I don't plan to give the Russian government a heads up about what's coming their way, but I can assure them it's coming your way.
And it's not like the war in Ukraine just commenced last week. It's been ongoing since 2014 in those breakaway republics within the Ukraine borders. And of course, this is on a more serious level, this current situation. This is an invasion, whereas the actions preceding have been proxy wars within Ukraine supported by the Russian government. But it's hard not to think that there's quite a bit of political opportunism going on here.
Definitely. There are pro-Russian areas in Ukraine. This gets into highly subtle stuff that paints too many people with the same brush both ways. So the invasion was probably avoidable, and so there are other factors at play here. A lot of it is to do with not just a long-standing border issue or control issue, but Ukraine has a lot of natural resources that Russia would love to get its hands on. So there's all of that as well. None of this really matters to Australia, to be really brutal about it. But the Prime Minister was hoping to posit himself as a wartime leader in the mould of Robert Menzies or John Howard. Nobody seems to be buying the idea of Morrison as wartime leader. We have a incompetent thug bully boy with no plan, no clue, no idea, and no competence to be able to get through this.